thanks so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you on.
Hi, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this will be fun.
So how have things been going? What have you been up to?
Good. I actually just got back in town, back to Nashville. I've been on the road playing some shows with my band, so that's been a lot of fun. That's kind of picking back up again. And yeah, just doing a lot of co-writing and getting ready for, the rest of the new music this year.
Awesome. Sounds great. So let's get right into it. I really love your music. I love your voice. It's so good. It has
Oh, thank
such a good, country voice, you know?
thank you.
So what made you get into music in the first place?
Yeah, I've always loved music, like since I was little. My parents always say that like since I was talking, I was singing. Like just always like want to sing for everyone and put on performances and shows and it just that always been the dream. And I learned piano and guitar when I was younger. But yeah, it got really serious when I went off to college for a year and then decided like this is it, music, and I got to get to Nashville and do it. And I've been doing it for a little bit now, and I love it.
Awesome. And before you kind of went more serious with music, you were a basketball player?
Yes, yes. We love sports. We love music. That's like our two big things. And my dad was a basketball coach, and it was so much fun. I loved playing. I really thought back then like I was gonna grow up and be a basketball coach and play in college and like do the whole thing. I still, love music, and it was always like some far off dream that I had. But I actually, when I was 14, I had a bone tumor in my femur bone. And so that put me out of basketball for about a year. And it was during that time that I really like dove back into music and learned guitar and started writing a bunch. And it was a really scary, like crazy thing,
Yeah.
but it kind of, a blessing in disguise that kind of brought me back to music.
Awesome. And you're okay now? Like it was benign, right?
It was benign.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very lucky. And yeah, any issues since. So it was, all good now.
Good. I'm glad you're better. Are you tall? Like, I know like basketball players, you have to be tall. Like, are you tall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tall for a girl, I guess. I'm 5'8".
Okay.
So yeah, I'm tall. I've got a tall family. My dad is like 6'5". My little brother is 6'6". It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, my 5'9". We're all pretty tall.
Awesome. That makes you good basketball players.
Right.
So what made you go into country music specifically?
Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of different genres because my family loves music, but I really like grasped onto country. Like my favorite artists growing up were Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood. My parents took me to see Tim McGraw and Faith Hill when I was 5 years old, so much of that. But my family have always been big country music fans. And that's just always what I listen to. And, the way that I write is very, storyteller, like, my own experiences, which is what country music is. So that kind of fits that as well.
Awesome. And your parents are really supportive of you, correct?
Yes, they are. Which, I mean, in anything I do, like when I played basketball, my dad was my coach. And so that was really cool. And my mom was at every game and they were all into it. And then when I told them that I wanted to leave college and really pursue music full time, they immediately were like, okay, like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put a plan together and let's figure this out for you. And we're going to be there. And like, they're awesome.
No, I love that. It's so important to have that support from people around you.
Yes, I know. Yeah. That like, I mean, not everyone has that. So I know I'm very lucky with my family.
So let's get into some of that music. The first song you have for us is your latest single called Seasons. So what's the story behind that song?
Yes. So I wrote Seasons like a year and a half ago. And it's another, story about my own life, something I've been through. I wrote it about a relationship that I was in that just kind of changed like the seasons all the time. It was very back and forth and things were really good and then they weren't. And I realized that I was kind of going back and forth with this person for a whole year. Like we had been through every season together. So that's where I kind of got the idea, and I went from there and yeah, wrote that song.
Awesome. I really love this song. I think it's so beautiful. And I love that imagery of the different seasons and relating to the relationship. And I think you did
Yeah,
such a good job on that.
thank you. Thank you so much.
So let's get to that song. So here is Seasons. So you made the move to Nashville. How has that been?
Yes, I love Nashville. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun. I love St. Louis, my hometown, and that'll always be home. But there's just nothing like the music scene here in Nashville. Like back home, I played most weekends and it was really fun. But Nashville, I mean, at 10:30 in the morning, there's live music everywhere. Like it's just every night, day of the week. It's so cool. So I love it here, and just being surrounded by all of these other artists and songwriters and people who share, the same passion as me is really, really cool.
Yeah. Do you have any like interesting stories since moving there? Run into any like cool people or anything cool happen?
Um, I've met a couple of people, which has been fun. And I know that a lot of people have stories of like running into country artists and people in Nashville. But I moved during all of the COVID craziness. So no one was really out, but I have met like Morgan Wallen, Lindsay L., Darius Rucker, just at like bars and things, which is pretty cool to just be, out with a friend and then be like, oh, there's, someone who is on the radio every day, or who, someone who you're a fan of. And it's cool. So Nashville, and everyone is super cool about, meeting other artists and people. So it's been fun getting to do that.
Awesome. So how has it been sort of like being away from your family? Has that been hard or an adjustment?
Yes, a little bit, because I went to college for only a year, so I was only away from home for a little bit. But I talk to my family like literally every day. We talk on the phone, and it's about a 5-hour drive, Nashville to St. Louis, so it's not bad. So I go home quite a bit, and they'll visit, and I actually live with one of my cousins as my roommate, so that's fun. Still got the fam here.
Awesome. Let's get on to some more music. The next song you have for us is Baby Girl by Sugarland. What made you choose that song?
Yes, this song, I've always loved this song so much. And it's kind of my life right now is this song, talking about having this dream and playing bars and asking your parents for money when you're running out, and, having that, supportive family back home. And that's exactly how I feel. I like, anytime I play this song, I get emotional. My parents cry if I play this song out. Like this is kind of like, a special song for me and my parents. And I love the end of the song when, her dream does come true and she's playing these crazy places and, staying at fancy hotels. And it's like, that's what I want to happen. And I want to be able to repay my family and everybody who's supported me along the way.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hopefully that will happen, and I think it will. You gotta live out the rest of the song. You're already living half of it.
Right.
You gotta finish it. Well, here is Baby Girl by Sugarland. So what made you get into songwriting?
Yeah, I've always liked to write. Like when I was in like second grade, I performed in our school talent show, and I performed a song that I had written, which I don't even know how old you are when you're in second grade. I was 7 or 8 or so, writing songs already. So I've always loved like telling stories and creating things. Even when I was little too, I would like write plays and movies and scripts. Like I've always liked writing. And as I've gotten older, it's kind of like therapeutic to write just anything that I'm feeling, any strong emotion. I'm like, okay, we're going to write it down and we're going to make it a song and turn it into something.
Awesome. Yeah, I read that you write sort of based on your real life experiences.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, any time that I'm going through something or, feeling a certain way, I like will jot it down in my notes and just kind of like go on and on with, random phrases and, thoughts and feelings. And that's how I kind of, turn it all into a song.
Awesome. Do you do any co-writing at all? Because I noticed like the songs that you have out, they're all solo writes.
Yes. So the songs I've released are all songs that I wrote before I moved to Nashville for the most part. So before I had moved, I had never co-written. But now that I am here, I do co-write and I love it. It's so much fun just having like other brains and emotions in the room and like coming together. That's been really cool. So yeah, some of the songs that I will have coming the rest of 2022 are co-written. So I'm excited to get to share those.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear them.
Thanks.
Who would be like the ultimate person that you would love to co-write with, if you could think of someone?
Taylor Swift. I am Taylor. um, and I mean, yeah, just as a writer, as a performer, businesswoman, everything. But yeah, I think she's an incredible writer. So we'd love to write with her.
Awesome. So let's get back to some of your music. The next song you have for us is called One Woman Show, which was released in 2020. So what's the story behind that song?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites that I've written because it's another one that's very personal. It's my girl power song. So I wrote that one right before I was moving to Nashville, and I kind of wrote it, partly for myself. Like it was something I needed to remind myself of that, like I was going to be okay. I got this. Like you're going to go off and do this, and it's going to be great. But it's also, taken on a whole new meaning with other people, who aren't chasing my dream, but who have, a job that they're, trying to get higher up in at, or, single moms, or just anyone can kind of grasp onto part of that song and the message in it. And kind of take something from it.
Awesome. I love that. So let's get to that song. So here is One Woman Show. So music isn't always the easiest of career paths. So what motivates you to keep working towards your dreams?
Yeah, I mean, definitely my family, as we've talked about a lot with them, and friends who are so supportive. My hometown too, St. Louis, has been like so good to me whenever I go back home and play shows, and I just know I've got so many people rooting for me. And as much as like I want to do this for myself, and it's everything I want is to play music and to share it and tour and the whole thing, but I want to like make everybody proud back home, and kind of do this for all of us.
Oh, I love that. So kind of going further into that, what's sort of like one lesson you've learned so far in your music career?
Yeah, definitely. Like plans can change. I feel like I had a lot of goals and things set in where I would be and what I'd be doing. And you can't really plan. You can plan as best you can, but you just gotta kind of roll with the punches and learn as you go in a lot of ways. Especially with my band that I have now. I just started playing with a band, this past year. So it's been quite a learning experience. And yeah, things don't always go the way you think they will. But you just got to kind of roll with it.
Awesome. How do you like playing with a band? Like, do you like playing with a band as opposed to just yourself, or like?
Yes, I love it. I'd only been doing like solo shows pretty much for the past few years, which are fun, but having other people up on stage is just like a whole other like level of energy and like excitement, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I find it does make a difference with like a band. Like you're not so alone up there.
Yes.
And it's more fun. All right, so let's get back to some more music. The next song you have for us is "That's My Friend You're Talking About" by Neil Arts. So what made you choose this song?
Yes, I love this song. I've been listening to this one a ton lately. Two of my friends here in Nashville and myself, we went to Neil's release show that she had like a couple of months ago, and we heard that song for the first time, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like we love it because it's such kind of like my one woman show. It's such a girl power, like positive song. And so now with like some of my friends, anytime we will say something like not great about ourselves, we'll just be like, "That's my friend you're talking about. Like, don't be saying that about yourself." So it's just kind of turned into that. So I love that song.
Awesome. Do you have any like advice for like girls or women to be more empowered?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it takes time. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. I think I'm like a totally different version of myself than I was in high school. And I think a lot of that is just surrounding yourself with people who, love you and care about you and, want the best for you. I think that goes a long way.
Do you find like with your music career, like as you kind of progress, like you personally progress, like your own personal development is kind of like mirrored with your music a bit?
Yeah, I honestly I haven't really thought about that, but I mean, it kind of is. Like, I think because the more like that you personally grow, the more that your music, you can feel more confident with that and can kind of push forward in that. So yeah, that's probably.
Yeah. Well, let's get to that song. So here is That's My Friend You're Talking About by Tennille Arts. So what does country music mean to you?
That's a good question. I mean, country music is everything to me right now. It's my whole life. And it's kind of like a tradition almost, because I grew up listening to it so much, and it was so big in my family. I mean, my grandma and grandpa listened to it all the time, which is cool to have that connection. And then now, like, being in the country music world here in Nashville, I mean, yeah, it really is my life, and it means a lot to me.
Awesome. What kind of like, what artists, if you can remember, did like your grandparents listen to or did you grow up with?
I know like Leanne Womack, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill again. Really like Shania, later on, and George Strait, like a lot of the classic ones.
Awesome. So let's get back to some more of your music. The next song you have for us is your song called Hey Hey, which was released last year. So what's the story behind that song?
Yes. Yeah. I love Hey Hey. It's such a fun one to get to play out. Like, it's like a summer jam out kind of song. And I wrote it about kind of my college experience that I didn't have. Because, I went to college for a year. And so all of my friends are still at school. And so I try to like visit them and, plan some shows near their cities so that I can have an excuse to, go be in college again for a day. So it was one of those times where I was visiting a friend, and it was a school back in Missouri. So I knew so many people. We went out that night, and I just kept running into everyone I knew from high school or growing up. And it was just such a fun night. So I wrote that song about it.
Awesome. Do you miss college?
Yes and no. I think I definitely made the right choice in leaving. It's fun, to go back. My sister's in college now too, so I get to visit her every once in a while. And I always tell my parents, like, it's fun for a weekend, but I definitely don't need to be in college. Like, I like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. What did you go to college for?
I was studying elementary education.
Okay.
So very different than what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing music. And it's also like not that easy to like quit college because, like you're supposed to go to college, right? And it's not
And that was, yeah, that's what I was really worried about that and I think that's why I went to college for a year in the first place, because, when everyone was, doing our application senior year, it was like, well, I'd love to just do music, but this is what you're supposed to do, and I'm going to do it, and whatever. But yeah, I definitely made the right choice and moving to Nashville and doing all that.
you're living your dreams, you're going for it. Because not everybody does. So I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
So here is Hey Hey. All right, so we'll do 5 quick questions. It's just whatever comes to your mind first. This is like the hard-hitting question part. So the first question is, what is your favorite snack food?
Chips, Lay's potato chips.
What flavor?
Just the normal. I really love, I'm weird, but it's really good. You should try chips and ketchup. It's really good. Like, kind of like French fries, and ketchup, but delicious.
See, I'm in Canada, so we have ketchup chips here. So it's like ketchup flavored chips.
Oh my gosh, I need to try that.
Yes, we should send you some. Awesome. One place you would love to travel to?
Ireland. My whole family is from Ireland, so we still have some that are there. And that's like, yeah, a dream place for sure.
Cool. Favorite holiday?
Sorry, I coughed.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Oh, Christmas for sure. I love my birthday's in December too. So like the whole month of December is just a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cats or dogs?
Ooh, I'm kind of split. I've always been a dog person, but recently, since I moved to Nashville, a lot of my friends have cats, and I'm really liking cats. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere in the middle.
You can say both. There's no rules. Favorite TV show?
New Girl. I've watched it like a million times, and yeah, never gets old.
Awesome. So where can people find you if they want to learn more?
Yes, so mollylovett.com is the website, and I'm on all of the socials at Molly Lovett. And then, Spotify, Apple, whatever you stream your music on, I'm on.
Awesome. And that will all be in the show description, so you can just hit the links below so you don't have to search for it. I love your name, by the way. You have a great country artist name. So.
Thank you. It worked out. Lovett's kind of cool. Like, yeah, it worked out for my career.
Yeah. Awesome. So the last song you have for us is Record Year by Eric Church. So what made you pick this song?
Yeah, I love this song. I'm a big Eric Church fan. I just saw him in concert actually in St. Louis a couple weeks ago. But I love this song because, it's about his breakup with someone, and how, instead of just being down and sad, that he has a record year and listens to all of these different records and all these different songs. And I love that because, music is very powerful and can totally heal and, kind of piece you back together. So yeah, I really like that song.
Awesome. Yeah, I really love Eric Church. How was the concert?
It was so good. He is great. He doesn't have an opening act, so he just plays for like 3 hours straight. It's awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on. I really enjoyed talking to you. And
Me too.
thanks so much for listening, and be sure to come back next Sunday for more country music.